Hi everyone, welcome to our first video lesson for this week. I hope you enjoyed the PE lesson yesterday. For those of you that took part in it, it was really good fun. I will hopefully be doing another one again next week, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. So we're going to be looking this week at art for your YouTube lessons, and we're going to be looking particularly at perspective art. Now that is where you do your drawing, but from one particular perspective. So we're going to be looking at the importance of perspective and investigate how to use perspective when drawing buildings particularly, and develop knowledge of how a vanishing point conveys perspective. Now I know we did a bit of perspective drawing last year, so hopefully this will be a bit of a refresher for you. So perspective can be used when doing things like pavement art. So this is a piece of art on a pavement in, I'm not really sure where, to be honest, and they've used perspective here to create the effect of it being 3D when actually it is only painted on. There is no actual hole here. And in the same way here with the laptop, they've made it look 3D when it is a 2D drawing. And the way they achieve that is by sticking to a either single perspective or dual perspective drawing. This one here, again, makes it look 3D, makes it look like it's going down into the floor, whereas in actual fact it is only painted on. And again, this one here with the waterfall. So as you can see, there's some quite impressive ways that perspective can be used. This one here is probably the clearest one of perspective that I've seen. So you can see that the perspective is all going down. All of the lines are going to the same, what's called vanishing point, which is where all of the lines end. Okay, so perspective in art usually refers to the representation of 3D objects in 2D artworks. So when you draw on a piece of paper, it is 2D, but by using a vanishing point, you can make it seem like it is 3D. Artists use perspective techniques to create a realistic impression of depth, so that is how deep something is. Play with perspective to present dramatic or disorientating images. Now, linear perspective is if you look along a straight road or a railway track, the edges of the road or tracks look as if they're coming together the further away they are. This is called linear perspective. With linear perspective, parallel lines move together as they go away from you or recede away from you. The point at which the lines appear to meet is called the vanishing point. So if you look here, this is actually a completely straight road. The lines never actually come together, but as it goes into the distance, it seems like they're coming together. And the point at where they disappear or meet is the vanishing point. One point perspective, which is what most of you will be focusing on today. So to create the impression of a road heading away into the distance, artist Julian Opie has placed a single vanishing point more or less at the centre of the image. And all of the lines, all of the drawing goes towards that point. The edges of the road meet at that point, and it suggests a sense of receding space. So, you can use perspective to draw 3D shapes on a 2D surface. So you could draw a 2D box, develop the 2D box into a 3D box. You can use a vanishing point to achieve a cube. So the vanishing point you mark on a line, you draw a cube, you then draw lines going towards the vanishing point with a ruler, and then you can connect across the lines to achieve a 3D cube that is going in the distance towards the vanishing point. And this is going to be really useful. I'd recommend you do this as a warm-up drawing before you attempt the work we're setting today, because this is exactly how you're going to achieve the drawing of your buildings. Okay, so you could now, you've done a cube, have a go at drawing a 3D rectangle. It's the same principle. You draw, if I go back here, you would draw, instead of a square, you would draw a rectangle, and then you would draw the lines going towards the vanishing point. Same effect. Have a go at that. Okay, so a point perspective drawing. So to draw a street scene, you're going to have two sides of the street going towards one vanishing point, which is going to be in the middle normally, unless you're doing a one side of the street perspective where it would normally go up and towards the edge or down and towards the edge. So as they get further away, it seems like the building's coming closer together because it's going towards the vanishing point. Here's another artist. Shows how perspective is used here to make it seem like it's all going towards the same point and it's getting smaller the further away it's going. And again, a bit of a different take on it. So here we've got the vanishing point. It all seems to be going towards this way, and that is again to achieve the effect of making objects further away seem smaller. And again. This one's a bit different. This one's a bit, this is a more complex perspective drawing, and it has multiple perspectives going on. Okay, so point perspective, very similar to what you're going to be doing today, as I said. So you're going to have a horizon line with a vanishing point. It's really important you have that. You can then nice and simply, to start with, draw two rectangles, and then go towards the vanishing point with two diagonal lines using a ruler. You can then apply vertical lines at various points along there to create different buildings going along the street towards the vanishing point. I would say that if you're not confident with perspective drawing, this is what I would recommend you have a go at today. And if you then get really creative, this is what you can end up with. Of course, for those of you wanting a more challenging activity today, you can have a 2-point perspective. That is where you have two vanishing points, and this is normally used when you're drawing a corner of a building or a street to show it going in two different directions. Okay, so today's task, and I'm going to post these links on Twitter in the morning, so they'll be there for you. You've got either the first task, which is a step-by-step YouTube video on how to draw a street in 1-point perspective. Okay, and it can include one or more buildings. Now, if you want that as a really simple version, I'd suggest going back to here and having a go at this, and you can do it as you wish. If you want a slightly more challenging version, have a go at the YouTube video here, which again I will post. If you have done this before or want more of a challenge, have a go at this YouTube video, which I will again post on Twitter, which is to draw a 2-point perspective drawing. So again, this house here has got the perspective point over here and a perspective point over here. So it's got dual perspective. Okay, have a go at them. And we would love to see your attempts at your drawings sent to our email addresses, please, ready for the celebration video on Friday. Hope you're all well. Stay safe. See you soon.